This is Reimagining Abilities. Stories of the Charles Lea Center's impact supporting individuals with disabilities so they can be a part of the communities where they live, work, and play. Join us now in Reimagining Abilities. And thanks for joining us for Reimagining Abilities. I'm Richard Edmond. Joining us in the Charles Lea Center studio today is Marquise Pearson. He is the Enabling Technology Manager for the Charles Lea Center. And you get to play with a lot of toys. Tell us about your job.
Yeah, so what I do is research and come up with technologies for individuals to use in daily living. Basic technology. So something is a Echo, Alexa. We use it for listening to music. You may even use it for commands. Turn your lights off or different. Well, we can use it the same way. Also, we can advance it to help staff. So if staff wants to call for dinner, hey, call for dinner. So we get to play with a lot of great different toys.
It's a lot of those technologies that we tend to take for granted,
right,
that really have a huge impact on those that really can use them for their independence.
True.
What's it like to be able to take this technology and implement it into this very specific reasoning?
It's challenging at times because you're wanting to make sure that the technology that you get, it's going to fit the individual. We know and understand the individuals that we serve, so we want to make sure that the technology is going to flow with them. So it takes a lot of thinking, and I come from a DSP over to enabling, so I kind of got an idea of in the homes and how it is in the homes with the individual. So knowing that, I have to say, okay, what will fit this individual? But it's rewarding at the same time because you see that it brings their independence to the individual, that they are happy. Like, wow, I'm able to do this.
And DSP is direct support professional.
Right.
Tell us what the DSPs actually do.
So we're basically I consider it as the right hand to the individual. So what the individual needs help in, that's what a DSP is there for. Okay, eating. Can you help with eating? I'm gonna help you with eating, or bathing, or clothing, or just even recreational activities, going out into the community, doctor's appointments, going out to eat, different things of that nature. DSP is basically like that right hand person to help with simple day-to-day needs and functions to more complex day-to-day needs and functions. But we're right there beside you.
How does the technology help the direct support professionals give more time to other individuals?
So what it does is it frees, so the technology becomes a third hand in a sense. So it gives the DSP an opportunity that if I could put a technology in to help an individual, that I can move over and help someone else that needs the help as well. It's difficult to help two individuals at the same time. But with technology, it's the middleman. It jumps in and says, hey, go ahead and do that. I can handle this. So it works best even for staff to know the technology and to get accustomed and acquainted to it. And over time, I've seen the staff has fallen in love with the technology because they're saying, hey, it's helpful. It's helping me out versus a hindrance.
What's a success story that you have from technology that you've been able to implement into an individual's life to help them?
The house I came from was Walden Circle, and there's an individual there that was prone to falling. He would get up out of bed and he would fall. And so knowing that, it was very concerning because you got to think about the individual's safety, making sure that they're okay. So him getting out of bed and him, when he gets out of bed, he's kind of not stable. We said, hey, we need to figure out a way that we can know when he's getting up, because he's like a solid, not a solid, but he wasn't as loud getting up. So we didn't know when he was getting out of bed. So something as simple as a bed sensor. Basically, when his body weight came off the sensor, it gave an alarm. When the alarm went off, guess what? We knew he was up. So staff could easily intervene and make sure he doesn't fall. So knowing that he was not going to fall and injure himself, that was, as a DSP, that was my biggest thing about individuals, is make sure they're safe.
What's the most creative use you've come up with for a piece of technology in a situation at the Charles Lea Center?
So I would say a nucleus. A nucleus. There was an individual that just came out of the hospital, and he was in a spot to where he would stay in his one spot, his one small area. Staff did not know how, they couldn't communicate with him. So I tried to figure out how to position the nucleus to where he can communicate with the staff from where internet service is and where his location is, how to position that nucleus to where they can do drop-ins, they can see him if he shifted anywhere around the room. And it took some maneuvering and you know, being in television, and you know, you gotta shift it around, you gotta move cameras around. So it took some shifting and move, but I was able to get in a certain spot. And I had to tell staff, hey, leave it there. Make sure it stays there, because if it stays there, you can get him in any angle of the room.
I've heard rumors around the building that there's a new piece of technology that we're about to implement, if we haven't already, and that's to help people eat.
Yes.
Tell us about the arm and the hand.
Yes. So I've actually had a chance to play with it. I've actually had a chance to use it, and it's called an Obi feeder. Excellent device. Excellent device. So you can teach it to feed you. You teach the arm where to position to feed you. So it has a plate with 4 sections. So you can have your 4 different meals, 4 different items in the section. The arm, and there's 2 control buttons. You can change the colors of the control buttons. You could change the designs of the control buttons. But there's 2 control buttons. One tells the arm to pick up the food, and one tells the arm which cup you want to choose from. It picks it up, it cleans the spoon off, it feeds you, and all but the press of a button.
That's incredible. Some of the stuff that we're doing.
It definitely is.
What's the most rewarding part of this for you?
Seeing the happiness of the individual. When I started Charles Lea, I was nervous because I didn't know what to expect. And over time being here, I've seen how the individual become your family. You become really close to them. And, you know, being in this position and seeing that a lot of times some of the simple things that we do as, you know, some people are not able to do. So seeing that excitement and the happiness of being able to do that, that brings the reward to me. You know, I do like playing with the technology. Yes, I do like searching for the technology, but that reward I get of being able to, when I walk out the home and I know the individual's happy with what's there, that's the best thing for me. It's rewarding.
I was going to ask, do you miss being a direct support professional? But it sounds like you're still just right there in the heart of it all.
Yeah, it is. When you're dealing with the technology, you're still in there. I still see the individuals that I've served. I still help out in DSP at times, so I still see it. But I'm still right there. I'm not in the home all the time, as a normal DSP would be, but I'm still there. So I still get to dabble into it. Every now and then I get to dabble into it.
That is incredible. And, you know, I know that we come back to this theme frequently on this podcast, but this really goes to show the forward thinking of the Charles Lea Center.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing that sitting back, I look and I see how the Charles Lea Center has taken the technology aspect in the area that we are in and work in, and has taken off with it. You know, then we're not waiting. We're saying, hey, we know this can work. Let's get it going. And so, being at the forefront, being at the center of it all. I'm a sports fan. I'm a big sports fan. I love football, and so college football fan, and Alabama is like the creme de la creme of football. So with Alabama being the creme, it's like everybody sees what Alabama does, and they look and they say, okay, we need to find out what Alabama's doing. Well, I feel that Charles Lea's the same way. We're like the Alabama of our field. Everybody else is looking and saying, what is Charles Lea doing? And so it feels good to be a part of that.
That is awesome. Now, for those fans who are not Alabama fans, just insert your
put
team
your team
in
it. Yeah, put your team in it.
He said Alabama, and then that will work out perfect. Where do you see us going next?
I see us going in continuing in the technology realm. I see us incorporating a lot more technology that's out there. I feel like we've only scratched the surface. Mm-hmm. We've only really started. There's a lot more technology that we haven't came across. We haven't. God, I feel like we're NASA, and we're just scratching the surface of space. NASA, they'll find something. I feel like that's the way we are. We're like, okay, we just scratched the surface. Okay, now we got to go a little bit deeper. We got to go a little bit further. Now we got to go a little bit further. And as we move forward, we keep finding more things, and having the leadership that we have here at Charles Lea Center, that helps. So I feel in the next 10 years, we're going to be the pinnacle to where everybody's going to look and say, okay, what is Charles Lea doing?
That is such an awesome analogy. And I know that sometimes when I walk down the hall, I see crowds gathered around your area. Are they coming in to look at the new technology and to see what you guys are playing with?
Yeah, they come in to see what's going on, to see where we're going next. What are we doing next? What's the next step? What's the next level that we're going to? Sometimes we don't even know. We say, okay, we're just pushing forward. And that's the thing with dealing with technology, is you can say you're going this direction, but technology will say, hey, we got an idea, let's go over here. So we have to stay on the cutting edge of anticipation. We have to be anticipating the next move. And so that's the one thing that I've learned in being in innovative services, is you have to stay anticipating the next move. Because if you stay relaxed where you are, you'll miss the next one. But if you're anticipating, you're like, okay, we're getting ready to go. We're going to move. It's plenty of times I get out, Omar come to my office and he'll be like, hey, we're doing this. And I'm like, okay, that's the next move. I didn't anticipate it, but it's the next move. So you always got to be anticipating.
And I think that speaks volumes for the innovation staff, is that you guys are open to anything.
You can't have a door. I learned that with innovative service, you can't have a door. The door has to be off the hinges. Yeah. You can't have a door, because if you have a door, then it limits you. But if you just take the door off, then you're always open. You're always open.
You guys do incredible work. Marquise Pearson, thank you so much for being with us today.
No problem.
And we thank you for joining us for this edition of Reimagining Abilities. I'm Richard Edmond. Until next time, have a great day.